Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Schulich Engineering Edge session today at the University of Calgary Open House. My name is Emily Wyatt. I'm the Manager of Student Experience at the Schulich School of Engineering. My role oversees our engineering internship and practicum programs, our co-curricular activities such as clubs and teams, and our non-credit certificates such as leadership, entrepreneurship. Our goal is really to make sure our students are participating in activities that help them become successful professional engineers at the end of their degree. I'd like to introduce my co-presenter, Katrina, and I'll pass it over to her to say hello.
Thanks, Emily. Hi, everyone. I'm Katrina Chenko. I'm currently in my last year of software engineering, as well as I was a Discover Engineering student last year, and I'm also the Engineering Student Society president for this year. So I can't wait to talk to all of you today.
So just a few notes about this presentation. It is being recorded, so if you want to rewatch it or get clarity on something or share it with any of your friends that are interested in engineering, that's great as well. We have some amazing advisors on the Q&A chat today, Destiny, Janelle, and Tyler. So feel free to type in your questions as Katrina and I are presenting, and they'll try to answer it along the way. And then we'll leave some time at the end to address them verbally as well. All right, so basically our presentation today, we'll talk about kind of the path to get into Schulich, some of our great engineering experiences, the type of work experience you can get at the Schulich School of Engineering while you're studying here, our co-curricular experiences. So that means things that you can do outside of your classes. And then finally, some information on our priorities for mental health and resiliency. All right, I'll pass it over to Katrina.
Awesome. So I want to bring into light the brand new facilities in our transformed engineering complex. So the areas within the building are divided into blocks A through F, all of which have a variety of spaces that students can utilize. There are many different lab spaces with specialized equipment that is geared towards experiential learning. There are also many social spaces where you can both study and where you can just interact with your peers. Some of my favorite spaces in the engineering building is the engineering lounge, which is a large open area where students can come together. There are also tables by the windows where you can have a more private study space and have a good view at the same time. There are ping pong tables and foosball tables where you can go head to head with your friends. And there are also homerooms for every engineering discipline where you can work with people from your same major on assignments and team projects. So overall, the engineering building has so much to offer you, and I encourage you to explore the area when you have the chance. Back over to you, Emily.
Thanks. All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the pathway into engineering. And so we have something really unique called the Bioengineering Summer Institute. So typically to get into engineering, you would need, in addition to some other core courses, but physics and chemistry, as well as math and calculus in the Canadian environment. And do speak to the registrar's office should you have any questions today about the specifics of entering engineering. But a few years ago, we were able to offer a really unique pathway. So we know a lot of our students in high school are really interested in biology, and students that take biology in high school to get a hands-on opportunity to still study in engineering. It provides a foundation of physics for engineering, and you can replace your biology grade instead of using a physics course. So it's a great opportunity for students to come on campus later in the summer, build the foundation of physics while still being able to take biology. So let us know if you have any questions about that.
Cool. To move over to exceptional scholarships. So when the Schulich family donated the name the Schulich School of Engineering, we were very fortunate to granted significant annual scholarships to give to our students. So UCalgary Engineering awards an average of $4.5 million in student awards annually. So this includes prestige awards like Schulich Academic Excellence and the Community Services Award. And there's also Diversity Champions in Engineering Award for $4,000. I myself am a recipient of a Schulich scholarship, so I encourage all of you to apply. If you would like to apply for one of our prestige scholarships, community or academic excellence, instructions are provided when you apply. Deadline for prestige scholarship applications is December 1st. So talk to your registrar's office/booth if you have any questions about the application process. Then to move on to the engineering majors. Here at the Schulich School of Engineering, we offer a variety of engineering majors. The majors include our new biomedical engineering major, as well as chemical, civil, electrical, geomatics, mechanical, software, and you can even do dual degrees like engineering and business. As a first year, you would be placed in Common Core program, and there will be an open house discovery session on second year placement today, which will give you all the details about the process for selecting a major. What I found nice about U of C is that they do have the Common Core first year. And I know some other universities, they make you choose your major coming right off of high school, but making that decision, that really big decision in your life at the age of like 17, 18 can be really stressful. But here at the University of Calgary, you're able to get a better look into what each major really entails by going through the first year courses. And then you can make the decision of what you want your major to be after having been exposed to those university courses. So for myself, I thought I wanted to go into chemical engineering straight from high school. But after having done the Common Core year, like first year at U of C, I realized my true passions were in tech, and I decided to go into software engineering when it came time to like choose a major. And now I'm in my last year of software engineering, and I know that I 100% made the right decision for myself. So having the Common Core option really changed my life. Back to you, Emily.
Thank you. Sorry, my PowerPoint seems to be lagging a little bit, but we're talking about engineering majors or engineering minors now. So sorry, just give me 1 second here.
I definitely do recommend to all the students that when you are looking for your major, definitely talk to other students who are in those majors. You can get a really good insight into what those students have to say about those majors as well, not just what you read off the website. So it's really good to interact with your upper years as well.
Great, yeah, that's a great point, Katrina, thank you. So in addition to our majors, we have quite a few minors, and this list may seem overwhelming, but as Katrina mentioned, you do not need to decide right now, but it's really just for you to start thinking about what various combinations of things you might be interested in. So I'll just highlight a few of our new ones. So aerospace engineering, we were really excited to offer a minor in that. Digital engineering has been quite popular and it's new. So if you want to study mechanical engineering, but you also have an interest in the software or digital side of mechanical engineering, that's a really great opportunity. So when you're deciding on what major you want to take, it's a good time to start thinking about what minor and what kind of specialization you might want to add to that major to kind of enhance and build what you'd like to do for your career. All right, so I'll talk now about engineering work experiences. So we offer both internship and work terms and practicum, or a co-op program. So our engineering career practicum is for first and second year students. So really from day one, you can join a career preparation program where you've got access to an exclusive job board where you can participate in a full-time work experience over the summer or do various part-time work throughout the year. And it's really intended for you to kind of build those core career skills. We also have some modules that are co-curricular, but academic in nature in the sense that they'll be teaching you different professional skills developed by a professional engineer on our team. So it's really a great way to prepare you for your career right from day one. And really our most popular core work experience program is our internship program. So you apply in third year and you can secure a 12 to 16 month placement. And you can do that really anywhere in the world. We've got core relationships with some companies in Switzerland, for example. We have a lot of relationships in Calgary and also nationally. I'm pleased to let you know that this year we had a record number of internship placements. So it was our best year ever. We had 569 students secure an internship placement, which is just amazing. And we've done that with the support of local companies and building relationships through our employer specialists and providing students with that support. So it's definitely a popular program for our students to participate in, and really does give you a full year of paid work experience while you're in school, which is great. We are doing an Engineer Your Career session this afternoon that I encourage you to attend, so you can learn more about our work experience programs and how to secure a job in engineering. All right, and so I'll also talk about our enhanced education program. So Katrina mentioned that we have a Common Core first year. So that means every student at the Schulich School of Engineering has participated in the same core courses in their first year. So if you're speaking to a second year or a third year student, they'll know the challenges and the core concepts of what you've been learning. In order to facilitate students helping other students, we've developed a mentorship program where you are actually matched with an upper year student, and they can help you navigate all of the challenges and provide great advice as a first year student to really help you through that. There is also an industry component to our mentoring program. So if in first year, when you're deciding what major you'd like to take or potentially a minor, you can be connected in with industry professionals that are actually working in the field that interests you to see if that's something that you might want to pursue as a career path. And we also have our engineering leadership program. We have about 30% of our first year students participating in this program. We work with relevant leaders in industry, as well as professional leadership coaches to help students learn effective communication, project management, and successful networking. It's a 3-year program, and we encourage students to join right from day one. All right, obviously we've had a little bit of a roadblock with our international experiences and student trips for obvious reasons, but as soon as it's safe to do so, and we certainly hope that during the course of your degree, when you decide to join us at the Schulich School of Engineering, that we'll be able to offer international experiences again. So we have many global learning opportunities. A lot of them occur over reading break where you can volunteer or participate in some community service learning projects abroad. This is sometimes done through a student club, or the faculty actually has organized trips in the past. For example, I went with a group of students to Guatemala 2 years ago, where we designed and built water filtration systems and did some more efficient stoves and did some data collection in a rural Mayan community. And that was a really amazing experience for our students. And we definitely want to offer more opportunities like that. We also piloted our outdoor leadership experiences. So we had students go together with a group in the mountains of Kananaskis, and they actually built a snow shelter to sleep in, which I'm told wasn't as cold as I would have expected. But it was a really great hands-on way to learn your teamwork, your project skills, and really having to problem solve on the spot while doing something fun. We also have many study abroad opportunities where you can choose to study at a different institution for a term or a year. We have a great study abroad office on campus, and as well our academic advisors can help you plan a path where it fits best in your degree and help figure out what classes transfer over to that specific institution. Katrina will talk a little bit more about it in the next slide, but as a result of our generous donation from the Schulich family, we're able to have something called the Schulich Student Activities Fund, and each student in Schulich is eligible for up to $3,000 during the course of their degree that can help fund these international opportunities. So I'll now pass it over to Katrina.
Awesome. So clubs and teams. We have 80 engineering clubs and teams here at the Schulich School of Engineering, including Engineers Without Borders, WISE, which stands for Women in Science and Engineering, a variety of vehicle teams and departmental societies, and best of all, Engineering Student Society, which I am a part of. With this, there are dedicated and fully equipped student team and club spaces throughout Schulich. So every club and team can apply for the Schulich Student Activities Fund, like Emily has mentioned, which is otherwise known as SSAF, funding every year to help support them on their educational conferences and trips and team competitions. So for instance, with the Engineering Student Society, SSAF funding has helped send double the amount of students nationwide to various regional and national conferences and competitions. There are so many clubs and teams out there that every student can find one that piques their specific interests. The types of clubs and teams you can see kind of range from like technical focus to student government, to charity forward, to de-stressing and mental health focused clubs and teams, really anything you can think of. So I'm confident that you'll be able to find a club or team that fits you perfectly. When I joined this Engineering Student Society in my first year, I'm still continued on up to this day in my last year. So you can tell that I really enjoyed my time throughout the years. I encourage all of you to join any extracurricular, as you'll be able to meet like-minded individuals outside of an academic lecture setting and make some long-lasting friendships while having fun pursuing something that you're really passionate about.
We're really excited to share one of the things that makes Schulich really unique is how large and comprehensive we have what's called the Engineering Maker Multiplex. So you're going to be learning a lot in your classrooms and your labs, and there'll be this is a really great opportunity for you to practice in a hands-on way what you're learning and have a little fun with engineering. So within the Maker Multiplex, they have high-end 3D printers, recording booths if you want to record music or podcasts, plenty of industrial tools, a paint booth with incredible ventilation, an art and textiles room so you can make what you're making look nice. You have a design headquarters where you can work with technical staff to bring your designs to life, and a robotics maker space where you can build robots. In there right now, we actually have a team called Dino Bites, and they're making soccer playing robots, and they actually are planning on attending competitions where they will play games against other soccer playing robots. So it's a pretty cool space for students to really be creative and apply engineering concepts in a really practical way. It's a really great, there's many rooms, large spaces. As a first year student, you'll have the opportunity to participate in some of the safety training, but you really should be able to get in there in your first year, which is really exciting and important to us.
Cool. With that, we also have a state-of-the-art Zeta Lab, where students can explore the technological side of their engineering experience. So the Zeta space has a digital design lab for workshops and hackathons. There's also a virtual reality lab with virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality equipment. There's also an Internet of Things lab to explore sensor and software development and gather data. I was actually able to try out the virtual reality set a few days ago, and I can tell you that it was an amazing experience. I definitely recommend checking this out and getting the training to operate the equipment. But overall, like the Schulich School of Engineering is able to provide these incredible technologies to their students. So I do encourage you to explore them during your time here, because it's already here. You might as well try it out, right?
Thank you. So I know we've covered a lot about the experience at Schulich, and I think the biggest thing to note with this, we certainly don't want to overwhelm you with opportunities, and you don't need to decide right now what you want to do. A lot of these things we've been talking about can be started at any time during your degree. But I also wanted to highlight our non-credit certificates. So these are kind of like micro credentials that you would add to your LinkedIn, your resume, things that would kind of provide you an enhancement to your education in kind of a little bit more of a non-technical way. So I already talked about our engineering leadership program. So that is a 3-year non-credit certificate. At the end, you'll receive a certificate of completion that you can share with potential employers and things like that. We just launched our engineering entrepreneurship certificate. We had the first session of the first class last week, which was really exciting. The great thing about about that certificate program is you actually complete the first level of that certificate in your Eng 200 class. So that means automatically you'll be exposed to engineering entrepreneurship, how it works, how you might want to, whether you transfer that to entrepreneurship, so being an innovative entrepreneur within an existing company, or creating an idea for your own startup. So within Eng 200, you'll get a really good foundation of entrepreneurship, and then you can decide if tier 2 and tier 3 are for you and you want to take the time to complete that outside of class. In the winter of 2022, we're launching a project management cert until for your career. And then we also have our mental health and resiliency. So you can think about how you want to support peers and yourself in understanding mental health and resiliency in the community and beyond.
Speaking of mental health and resiliency, the Schulich School of Engineering also has a Schulich Wellness Center. So with this, there's a decompression zone, workshops on healthy ways to handle stress, pet therapy, which is one of my favorites, exercise bikes throughout the engineering building, yoga and meditation, and so many other means that will support mental health and resiliency throughout your time here at U of C. But aside from these though, like everyone here at the Schulich School of Engineering is always here to support you. So if you ever want to talk, you can come to the Engineering Student Society and speak to some student leaders, as well as you can go and talk to the Engineering Student Center and speak to some faculty advisors, whoever you feel comfortable with. We all just want to help you through your engineering experience. So then the question comes up of, why did you choose the Schulich School of Engineering here at the University of Calgary, right? So for me, I am from Calgary, born and raised, so exploring U of C was always on the table. And then aside from that, I've always been interested in exploring engineering, which kind of brings Schulich into the picture. So after doing some research and going through like the Schulich engineering courses here at U of C, and like I could see what I could expect from these courses, I was really amazed at what Schulich had to offer, and I was ready to hit the ground running. And honestly, I got a better scholarship here at U of C than my scholarship at McGill, which kind of finalized my decision overall. And to this day, I know I made the right choice, and I hope that all of you will pick the Schulich School of Engineering here at the University of Calgary as well.
Thanks, Katrina. So if you have any questions along the way about this process, we encourage you to email discoverengineering@ucalgary.ca. We're always happy to connect you with current students. Additionally, the registrar's office is here for you should you have any questions about the application process or requirements to attend the Schulich School of Engineering. I did want to highlight, I mentioned them at the beginning, but we do have 2 other sessions today. So we have the program placement session, which talks about how we have a general first year and then how to choose your major in second year and what that process looks like. And then we have an engineer your career session this afternoon where you'll learn from a current student who's participating in their internship, as well as one of our employer specialists and career advisors. So we really encourage you to make the most out of today and connect with everyone on campus that you can. If we haven't gotten to your question today, or you'd like to speak to someone more in depth, please don't hesitate to visit our booth. We have a whole great team of staff on hand there to answer any questions that you might have. We know it's a really big decision and we want to be here to support you. Now I'm going to stop sharing and open the Q&A. So if you haven't already, I've been noticing the Q&A has been going, which is great, but I'll just take a quick look and see if there's any new ones coming that I can kind of address for the larger group. So the difference, I see a question about the difference between co-op and internship. So our practicum program is kind of similar to what you might refer to as a co-op term, which is essentially shorter, like 4 months. And so that's between your first and your second year, you can start to have work experiences. That is not an academic program, so it's co-curricular and you don't need to adjust your course of study at all. our engineering internship program is a full-time academic program. So you get academic credit for participating in the program, and you'll actually get an internship designation on your degree if you complete that program. Again, it's full-time, paid. You'd be working with relevant engineering work, and typically that work helps to contribute to the hours and time that you need for your APEGA, which is the Professional Association in Alberta, PEng designation. So it's really not a year off school, it's a year building your career. Okay. So what distinguishes U of C's engineering program from other schools' engineering programs? So this is a great question. A lot of the core, we're all accredited by the Canadian Engineering Accreditation Board. So a lot of the course content is really similar across the country. So what you'd want to look at is, does the school offer the major and the minor that you're interested in? That's really the first thing. But I would say, Katrina mentioned the Schulich School of Engineering. We're a name program. And when we got that donation, it came with a lot of great opportunities to enhance the student experience. So, we talked about the global experiences, the Schulich Student Activities Fund, the Maker Multiplex. Those are all the things that I think sets the Schulich School of Engineering apart. It's that kind of out of the classroom experience. Katrina, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, sure. I think with U of C, they're especially incorporating a lot of active learning within your courses, especially for the first years coming in. So with that, you're not only just looking at a lecture, reading the notes kind of thing that you might see at other universities. Here at U of C, you actually get to dive into a lot of actually experiential kind of learning in that aspect. And with the active learning, you can actually do hands-on work that can apply to your engineering career later down the road, which I think really does distinguish us from a lot of other places. So, and also if you live in Calgary, it's really close. You save a lot of money on rent and all that stuff, but that's besides the point. Back to you, Emily.
And that is great. If you do live in Calgary, we've heard a lot of students that if they live in Calgary and they choose to study here, they've been able to do a lot of traveling, whether it be an international internship, a study abroad, or international conferences. So even if you are debating whether to stay at home or go somewhere else or live in residence, there's still a lot of opportunities for you to kind of see the world while you may be saving rent at your living at your family's home. Costs associated with the Maker Multiplex. So it is currently all included in your degree, so they don't currently charge for anything. If you're using special materials or have to have something ordered in on a case-by-case basis, there may be a charge, but typically in my experience, if you want to go and 3D print something, that is free of charge currently. So that's a great bonus for studying here. Are international internships still in English? That totally depends. So if you are interested in pursuing an international internship, it really just depends on the company. We do have some postings from Go Abroad, it's called. So they focus on international job opportunities. So there's really not one answer for that. It totally depends what country it is and what language the company primarily works in. So someone was asking about average admission requirements. We usually say if you're in the mid 80s, that would be competitive. If you're unsure if you're going to make that and engineering is your top choice, we still do encourage you to apply. You never know what could happen, but we do recommend that you try to keep those grades as high as possible. And you can always put a different program as your second choice to have a backup plan should that not work out. No, so you don't have to apply. The question is, do you have to apply for the internship program when applying in first year. So no, you don't need to make the decision about whether you want to join the internship program until the beginning of your third year. So we actually just finished the cycle of admitting third year students into the engineering internship program for this year that are all in third year, which is great. So you do not need to make that decision if it seems like a lot for you to take that time away from school and you just would like to complete your degree quicker. That's totally fine as well. It's really an individual choice. I did see a question about requirements for the internship program, and it is you do need to be in good academic standing, and you need to be in your third year, which means there's a certain number of, even though you might have been studying here for third year, you need to complete enough classes to be considered in your third year. Yes, so it is possible to do a dual degree with two different, it's possible to do a dual degree, but not with different engineering majors. So we do have the business and engineering combined degree, which you would apply for when you apply for admissions this year, but you can't do two different engineering degrees. But if you're interested in, say, an engineering major and something in science, that's a conversation you would have with an academic advisor to see if that is possible. All right, so I think we've covered a lot of the questions here. I think the advisors for the more kind of specific transfer credit questions and things like that. Also, I see one more about provide placements for internship and co-op, or do students need to find their own? So our practicum and internship program are not job placements. So you will not be matched with a job or rank a job. We have a dedicated job board for each of those programs where students have access to, and they do need to secure an internship or a practicum placement through those means, or if there's a company that that you're really interested in and you want to pursue outside of our job board, that's totally fine as well. We provide our students with a lot of support and resources through resume sessions, workshops, one-on-one career advising, so that they can really be competitive candidates for these positions. And, you know, we actually recently had 2 students secure internship positions at Tesla, and that was something that they both pursued and were really excited to participate in, and we were supportive of that, but they really secured that internship through the hard work of themselves, which is great. How does one access the academic advisors? So you're in luck today. If you'd like to come to our booth, you can come and see Tyler. But you can come to our booth and speak to any academic advisors that you like. They are there today and here to support you. So and then really at any time we have on our website, you can access our drop-in advising hours, and you can speak to them, and they're here throughout the whole course of your degree.
And for this session, Emily, are we directing to Discover Engineering at UCalgary.ca? Is that kind of the initial touch point for students?
Yeah, so you can email the Discover Engineering account, and that's really for of our students that are considering studying engineering, and we can connect you with a student. But then once you're kind of admitted into engineering, or if your questions are a little bit more specific in nature, we would connect you with an academic advisor so that you can get the right information. So if you have both physics and bio 30, is the bioengineering something you would be required to participate in? No, as long as you have physics, you wouldn't need to be admitted into engineering for that route. How big are the first year class sizes? So that really depends on the classes. This year they are doing a design class model, which I think are about 100 to 150 students per class, and they all kind of study together. But throughout the course of your degree, you'll have larger classes, smaller tutorials, smaller labs. And the great thing about engineering in first year, you'll all be in blocks together. So you'll have a group of students that are taking all the same courses as you. So it's a really great opportunity to make friends and find people to study with, which is a key way of being successful in engineering. Katrina, I don't know if you want to share more about your first year experience and the blocks and finding friends.
Yeah, sure. So as Emily mentioned, there are a lot more blocks this year just because I think they're trying to get a lot more students to come, which is amazing. Back when I was in my first year, there were only 4 blocks. So there was like really big class sizes and all that, but I was still able to find a really great group of friends that you kind of lean on throughout your year and throughout like the rest of your years as well. Not only just like academic wise for like the team projects and stuff, not just that, but also just like outside of your academics, they become like your really good friends. Like I can say to this day, the friends I made in first year, there are still a lot of them who are actually like one of my best friends to this day. So definitely like in your first year, do make the effort to go out and like talk to people. Like, yeah, I know it can be scary, but like that all of you are kind of like-minded in the sense of it's a little different than from high school, but it's a really amazing like experience. And you're like, the people that you meet are just incredible and you're going to love it. I loved it. I hope you do too.
I did see a question in there about whether or not you can participate in the internship program if you're in the combined degree with engineering and business. The answer is yes, but you do have to participate in the engineering internship program, but it's still able to be fit in within that degree program. Just you need to know that the BCom combined program is already a 5-year program. So if you add an internship onto that, you would be looking at 6 years before graduation. That said, it's a great way to prepare yourself for professional life. And we see a lot of companies where the business and engineering, they're quite competitive for wanting to hire our BCom and engineering students because it's a great combination. Tyler, did you have something to add?
I was just going to throw in, yeah, that for the Eng BCom students specifically, if you're in the dual pathway, you would typically enter your internship after 4th year of programming. So the overall duration of the 2 degrees is 5 years in total, but it would be after your 4th year of studies that you would go on that internship period.
So I saw another question about how many co-op or internship placements are you allowed? So it is our practicum program that I think you're referring to. It's the shorter term. So typically it works out to 2 full-time summer jobs or 1 part-time job throughout 2 years. For our internship program, it is 12 to 16 months. And typically students stay with the same company throughout that 12 to 16 months. We've heard some great feedback from our employers regularly and our students. Anything over, in the year range, you can really contribute to significantly and meaningfully to companies' projects. They're really treated as key contributing members of an engineering team. So you do want to really be thoughtful about the engineering internship opportunities that you are applying for and what one that you eventually want to accept, because it's it's a full year working at that company. But we do see a lot of positive returns from our students that have participated in our internship program. Regarding residents, our engineering students typically placed in the same floor or building. So I actually don't know that, but I know that residents is here at the open house today. So I would encourage you to go and visit their booth and ask them any questions about how students are placed in each floor. Is admission based only on marks? Yes, admission into engineering is only based on marks. If you want to talk more about the admission process and possibly other options, we do have a diverse qualifications that the registrar's office today can give you more information about how and if you might qualify for that. All right,
Oh.
I think, oh,
Emily, there was one question about language, like the trips is, if you go on an international trip, is English the universal language? So I just saw that might be a good one to touch on.
yeah, that's a great point. So I would say it typically depends. If the Schulich School of Engineering is leading a trip, we would typically ensure that we had proper translation, or that the trip was primarily in English. For example, the community service experience that I mentioned, where we went to Guatemala, you know, a lot of the communities were speaking Indigenous Mayan language, which you know, obviously none of our students spoke. I didn't speak, but we worked with an organization that was able to translate from both Spanish to English, but there was not a language requirement. That said, if you're choosing to go to study abroad and their language is not English, we would only encourage you to do that should you be fluent in another language. And typically you would need to meet the English language requirement, or the language requirements to study there. But we would never send our students somewhere where they couldn't communicate without proper support. So I think that's all the time we have for questions. But again, I want to thank you so much for joining, and thank you to Katrina and Janelle, Tyler, and Destiny for supporting with the questions. You know, again, today's a really great opportunity. You've got all of the experts in the faculty on the admissions process and what it's like to study here. So please do visit our booth today and come to our other discovery sessions so you can get all the information you need to make a decision. So thank you so much.
I'd love to just note one more thing. The admissions office does have a booth as well. We have lots of questions about early admission, transcript information. Please check out the admissions booth. They will have those answers, as we don't review transcripts at the engineering level. So check out the admissions booth for your questions.